My name's Melvyn Williams, and we're going to talk about the how far back being poor sets you in terms of attainment in school, college, career. My own experience in terms of higher education is that when I went to higher education, I had absolutely no idea what the purpose of it was, what I was going to achieve, what the end goal was. I was led to believe, not maliciously, but I was led to believe that you went to college and you left college and you got a job that related to the subject you studied in college. And a lot of people get that. And that's something that's emerged as more and more people have gone to university, because the Blair government made a huge push in terms of getting people into university. It was successful. But what you're getting is people leaving university and having no idea what to do with the degree that they've got and ending up in a completely unrelated field with a useless degree and dead. Because I grew up in a very typical working class family, except we had less money than other families, simply because there were more of us. 4 children, and 4 children are expensive. So my father was a postman eventually. My mother worked in the hairdressers, and they had no idea about higher education because nobody in the family had ever been through higher education. I was the first one. I was the youngest of 4 children, but I had no idea what to do there. No idea what career structure there was, or what was available locally or nationally. Didn't have the contacts or the confidence really to branch out and to follow this up. Eventually ended up collecting glasses in a nightclub to earn money. And then I did get onto a job creation scheme, which allowed me to use my skills. So I was a graphic designer on a job creation scheme, which lasted a year. And after that, I went back to college. Probably 2 or 3 years later, I think if I'd have been in a family that was better off, probably more middle class, I think again that the pressures would probably have been greater to conform and to get a job. They always thought that going to art college was fine. It was okay following your talent. Whereas I guess probably they didn't know. You know, they didn't know what other options there were. You know, they didn't know that possibly it would have been better off. I'd be more off doing sciences or, you know, just accountancy or something that would have got me a job in management somewhere. I think possibly because they didn't know that, then there was more scope for me to follow my talent. But yeah, probably if I came from a professional family, then I would have been more likely to go into a professional route rather than an artistic one. If you're from a working class background, I can only speak personally, but I went through school and I was pretty bright. I was in the top class for everything, and up until about the age of 13. And then they merged our schools. So I came from Harvard, and they merged our schools with Mansildon. And Mansildon's only slightly posher than Harvard. And the difference was unbelievable. They played violin, they played piano, they you know, rode horses. Their parents had like model aircraft that actually flew. Just extraordinary stuff that I had no concept of. And one of them I got very friendly with. His father was the manager of a cash and carry down in the docks. So again, it wasn't like they weren't massively rich, but yeah, they had disposable income. Just in terms of streaming, their performance in class, their results in tests, it was just, they were streets ahead of us. Yeah, we used to poke fun of them. They were the posh boys. I suppose in the abstract sense that they were them, but of course then we were in classes with them, and we became friends. Mm. You know, so it's that thing where it's difficult to stay hostile when you actually get to know somebody. I think the cultural difference between working class people and middle class people, I think, is massive at the moment, and there's not really much of a desire that I can see among people with power to understand people without power. That's it. They're not entirely without power. They are voters, and they have successfully managed to massively mess with the political system over the last 6 years or so. So I think that, yeah, overall there's this just huge cultural divide between working class people and middle class people, and working class people don't have a voice. It's like everybody has a. When you see these celebrities on Love Island and Big Brother and places like that, everybody ridicules them because they haven't done anything, they haven't achieved anything, but this is the only way they're ever going to be part of the conversation. It's the only way anybody's ever going to listen to what they've got to say, because what other route is there? You know, if you're middle class, if you've gone through Eton and Cambridge, you know, you're going to go and get a job on the Telegraph, and you're being listened to every day. Mm. You know, you've got all these opportunities to pull the levers of power, to get your say, to get your viewpoint put across, and to get taken seriously. Both my parents worked, but we had less money than people whose parents didn't work. I mean, you'd go into school and it'd always be like the scruffy kids, and that wasn't us. They actually had more money than we did, but my parents, I guess, made sure that we were well presented and well fed, and so we always had that, but we never had anything else. People would come back from having gone to Butlins, because Butlins was like the cheap holiday for working class people back in the 70s, and we couldn't afford to go to Butlins. We went to London once, where we slept. There were 6 of us sleeping in an estate car in a lorry park in Hammersmith, and that's what we did for a week in London. And at the time, obviously, it's a big adventure, and we had absolutely no idea that hotels existed anyway, because we didn't have a TV. It just all this stuff like only ever having the basics, and whereas other kids had stuff. Until I got a decent job and managed to buy my house and live comfortably. Until I did that, I always felt skint. But now, even though I've probably got less disposable income than I had in my 30s, I don't feel skint. I don't have those kind of, ooh, I want shiny stuff. I don't have that, and I can it's not even discipline. It's kind of a lot of stuff you don't think about that you need when you've grown up being poor. You can live like that.